Viewers, welcome to Spiritual Consciousness
Hey.
with Dr. Wanda.
Okay, thank you for coming to my community of Poem.
Oh, wow.
And let me say your name on your mini pie.
Well done.
Right, okay.
On your mini pie.
On your mini pie.
Yeah.
So, but you actually carry my brother's name, which is Michael.
Wow, yes.
Yeah, my eldest brother's name is Michael.
Wow.
So, and then that's also one of my favorite angels.
Angels, wow.
Which is Michael.
Okay.
The fighting angel.
Yes.
Yes.
So every Michael is a warrior.
Well, he should want to be, to give that name spiritual pride. He should want to be.
Yeah.
So thank you, spiritual consciousness.
Yes. So, today,
Yes.
we are going to begin with the background of why black people are suffering.
Yes. Through here in Africa, diaspora, wherever we are.
Wherever we are.
Yes.
As Peter Tosh said, he said that as far as you are a black man or a black person, it doesn't matter where you are born. You are an African.
Yes.
Black people should have one God. But are you aware that in Africa, and anywhere there are black people, there are so many gods?
Well, there's so many gods because
why?
Well, people have veered away from the concept of one God.
Okay.
Some of them have literally rejected one God and made their own gods. We see that where when you replace the maker, the original, the one that made you, with things, for example, money or assets, and you put that over, then you see where you splinter off and you have trouble. It's not that something good won't come from it, but it's attached to a whole bunch of stuff that causes trauma and worry and division. And we see that heavily with us, where we will pick a decision to fall away from our God in order to chase what is not even a true God. It's a replica. It's not even a good replica of the Father himself. It's a fake God, yeah.
The Bible says that those gods that some people follow, they have mouth, but they can't speak.
Yes.
They have eyes, but they can't see. Mm-hmm. They have ears, and they cannot hear. Mm-hmm. And he said that those who follow them are like them. So they are like toy.
They're empty.
They're empty. There's nothing in them.
They don't manifest. They don't produce good. Yeah.
So tell me something. Anytime on your mini pie.
On your mini pie.
Yes. Anytime I see an African American or an African Jamaican, an African, they've called us all sort of names. But anytime I see those of you who have been living there, when I see you in the motherland, I notice one thing.
What?
One thing I notice is that you are spiritually brutal, because if you are not spiritually dread, there's no way you can come to the mainland.
Well, you have to have a calling, because we're talking about, I come from Chicago. I grew up in Detroit, Michigan, but I've lived my adult life in Chicago. That's all part of the Midwest of the U.S.
Okay.
But you have to have a calling to want to come to the motherland. The mother Africa calls you back home.
Wow.
That spirit calls you back.
Wow.
Because we're talking 6,000 miles. We're not talking about a village. We're not talking about just going up the road. We're talking about 6,000 miles and then having the capacity to get across that ocean. And the amount of hours that you're suspended in a plane to make it back here, most of us, it's a calling. Now, you may get here and mistreat the calling, meaning that you get here and you party and you play and you do a whole bunch of other stuff that doesn't really bring value to your mother. Because I always see Africa as my mother, whose many children, she had children taken from her. So she never forgot them, and then she's called them back.
Wonderful. Now that you are talking about calling, so that means you were called. Can you tell us
I definitely
anything? Can we have a taste about your calling?
Okay. Well, here's the true story.
But when you were called by God of heaven, God of Israel. Because these days, as we are saying, there are so many gods.
Well,
which of the gods? The living one.
I was called by the living God.
Hey, Boyaka. Carry on, my sis.
I was definitely
I
called by the living God.
I am his spokesman.
Okay.
Then you are welcome.
Well, I'm his teacher.
You are his teacher.
He sent me out to teach.
Wow.
And he sent me in dark areas to bring light. So
Wow.
that's what knowledge does. There's light, meaning you switch on the light.
Yeah.
There's light, meaning the sun. And then there's the light of information.
Yes, you see, spokesman for God and the teacher of God. Hey, see, we are calling. Yeah.
I was actively fighting on behalf of professors, academics, to be treated with respect in the U.S. because that industry is bottomed out. Now, most of us, a big chunk of us, have no tenure. We have no benefits. We're living in poverty. There's a whole set of professors that live in poverty, and I was on that platform fighting. And a video was done. A small film company interviewed me, and the video went viral.
Okay.
Went on Upworthy and World Star and Facebook and YouTube. It was burning. And so the Africans, that's how the Africans came to know of me. Because
Okay.
I've known some Africans around the way,
Okay.
but never enough to come to Africa.
Okay.
So there were 3 Africans in particular. One was a Nigerian,
Wonderful.
one was a Liberian, the other was a Ghanaian.
Oh, wow.
And they all invested in me differently, telling me if you were someplace else, this would not be going on with you. But it was the Ghanaian who said to me, the motherland needs you. And I don't know if the heavens opened up. I don't know if the stars or the moon reset. But I said to him, I wouldn't even know how to get there. I wouldn't even know how to do this. And he said, I'll help you. So they all in different ways helped me, okay? But he gave me the courage to consider it, to take it serious. Because Africa for me, up until that point, was a bucket list. Before I die, if I get a chance, I'll go over there. But it was never really important to me that way.
Wow.
I've always been a black woman, Afrocentric. I like black things. I consider us a beautiful group. I didn't have those kind of problems, but the desire to come was not there in me until he said that to me. So we started, and I was given the covenant of Abraham.
So that's what it,
Okay,
the covenant of Abraham.
which was the one that was put upon him when he had to travel away from home, away to a foreign land, to a space where languages and people he didn't know and he didn't speak. And so that covenant makes it clear, I'm going to send you away. I'm going to send you among a people that's unfamiliar to you. I'm going to bless those who bless you. I'm going to curse those who curse you. But there will be prosper, okay? The people will prosper, things will grow. And that has been the covenant that I traveled to the continent on. Now, I've traveled to Africa in poverty with almost no money, okay? 8 times in 5 years. And I've done work in 4 nations: South Africa, Uganda, Tanzania, and now Ghana. Ghana has been the longest. It's been 2 solid years, but for 3 years I've been here altogether. But living here, everyday life, blackouts, ordering water, food poisoning, animals, everything has been for 2 years here in Ghana. My daughter's in school; she's schooling here. I have a Ghanaian husband, and I've gone through the challenges of cultural differences, marital strife and attack. All of that stuff has happened in Ghana, but I also have gone through getting the greatest gift of them all, which is Ghana gave me a business. And so if I never want to turn to the U.S., I have a way to feed myself. I have a way to take care of my daughter. And it gave me an opportunity to employ others. So I have a team of people. And I hate to even think of them as employees, but that's what they are. They work for Wonderland's Naturals. They're on my team. But it's bigger than that. I'm sharing the wealth that the Father gave to me. So I started off spiritually angry and depleted, lost. And just that one line, God, Africa needs you, opened up a whole new world for me. And then traveling under that covenant has kept me protected, has helped folks prosper, and those who would do me harm have had to face the penalty of Jehovah.
Wonderful, wonderful. Okay, so you are welcome.
Thank you. Thank you, Ghana.
What I want to also tell you is that when you are a covenant child,
yes,
and you hear the voice of the living God, or your God that has brought you up, the original God that has protected and kept all black people alive. If you hear his voice, then you obey. There's no way you will lose.
Yeah.
There are so many challenges in Africa.
Lots.
And the challenges, for now, we cannot blame the Europeans or white people.
We should not.
But we blame, what do you call it? Our own, what do you call it? How should I put it? Our own mistakes. We do mistakes.
Yeah, which means that you're spiritually off track.
Thank you. The mistakes is that we don't obey the voice of God, and some of us don't serve.
And I do understand why we don't obey.
Why?
Because we're given a lot of things that distract us from his voice. Even our phone. As much as I love my phone, I'm going to use my phone. I use my phone for many magnificent things. It does distract. You know, discipline of getting up and thanking him for even opening my eyes. I can't tell you I always do that. Staying focused on an assignment that he's given me. Even here now, we have to worry that somebody will call us and we feel like we're drawn to it. Like some of it is distraction. And it is a demonic tool to keep us from hearing his voice. I have to, in fact, I keep my phone on silent so that when I set it down, I can hear him.
Wow.
Do you understand? Because otherwise the impulse is check the phone, call this one back, post this, say that. Yeah, sometimes I have to shut it down to even hear.
This is a positive, what you call, revelation you've got about hearing the voice of God, and you are trying to let everybody understand that the fact that you have phone does not mean that you should spend all your time watching the phone. And it's like our people perish because of lack of knowledge of him.
Mm-hmm.
So now, you've given one instance that getting busy with other things and without him can also make you go down spiritually.
Oh yeah.
What else again?
Well,
now that we are speaking to our people,
to circle yourself around non-believers or those that are either deniers or confused.
Worldly-minded people.
Some of them profess not to be worldly, but I'm a behaviorist.
Okay.
So your conversation is fine,
okay.
but I want to watch that behavior.
Okay.
Because one thing about God's people is his word and the behavior tend to match up.
Okay.
And we're in a time where we're listening to, we have access to listen to so much, and a lot of it's sweet like honey. But the behavior, I've never seen this many pastors in scandal.
Okay.
And I understand that, women are a problem. I understand the men, deal with temptation and sexual desire, but I mean just whole ministry falling because of just you just have no self-control. The Father ain't gave you have nothing. You can't control yourself even for 2 years, for a month. He built up this amazing work, and you're telling me they're losing it over little stuff. That if yours is really, if you're really listening to the Father, and you're really getting up every day and disciplining yourself to have that conversation. You said we were a link. Okay, the pastor of all people should have a link to the Father. That's his job.
Of course.
To talk to the Father, to know what to tell us.
Yes.
What's happening there?
That is a serious issue.
Yes.
So now, if you are a child of God, or if you claim to be a child of God,
yes,
and your behavior doesn't match, it will sound like you are false. That's what you are saying.
Well, you're false or you've fallen.
Or you are fallen.
Because we do fall down, and we're able to get lifted back up. But we have to admit, no, I don't need to follow this anymore. I don't need to socialize with you anymore. I need to distance myself, because the path you're taking, it's not in alignment with his word. It's not in alignment with his way.
Okay. So now, as I told you, this spiritual consciousness,
yes,
we have three components today.
Okay.
One God, one destiny. Now that we have expressed ourselves on the one God, we have talking about God. What about the aim?